Do not exercise any of these steps if you are not sure. So study. So you can't say, well, see, Moreno Bey told me to do no. No, you can't say that, because I'm telling you right now, do not exercise any of these steps if you are not sure. Okay? And the thing about bonds, I'm going to wrap it up with this book right here, but I'm going to go into the bonds briefly before I'm finished. The bond issue. Again, that's aligned with Article 2. When they take the bonds, Article 3, Section 2, I'm sorry. When they take these oaths, that's a bond connecting them with the people, saying that I'm going to protect the public. I'm in their best interest. So you have three parties to a bond contract, so to speak. You have an obligee, which is the state or the agency that's requiring the bond to be issued. You have the principal, which is the public servant that has to have the bond because they're protecting the people, so to speak. And you have the surety, which is the insurance company that ensures that the principal is gonna live out that bond. I got information to show you. For example, right here is an actual bond of a person, and I will say their name, from the Tennessee, is actually Tom Leatherwood's office of the Shelby County Register. A lot of people may say, well, where do you get the bond information? Okay, you can get it from your county clerk. You can call the Secretary of State and you can ask for the information, or you can go on the public record within your territory to find it. So this is an actual bond. A lot of people don't see this. This is what they don't want you to see. This is what they have, saying that they're gonna protect you, me, and whoever else, right? Okay. This particular bond is right here saying, I'm gonna read it from the top. It says Tom Leatherwood, Shelby County Register of Deeds, and it has the instrument number. And right here it says surety bond number. And it actually, I have it highlighted. It actually has the surety number. Most people have no idea. What is this? This is the oath they took when they got in the office. They put up their hand and took an oath saying that they were gonna protect you under the Constitution and they're gonna perform properly. So right here it says State of Tennessee, County of Shelby, which both are corporations. I have the charters to both. State of Tennessee, County of Shelby, official statutory bond for county public officials, Office of Criminal Court. It says notice. It says know all men by these presents that Kevin P. Key, he's a person, of Memphis, city or town, county, and Hartford Fire Insurance Company, they're the surety. I was just talking about the earlier three parties. Again, let me start over. Kevin P. Key is the principal. He is the one that's supposed to roll out with the duties and perform it properly. And right here it says Hartford Fire Insurance Company. That's the surety. That's the second party. And then it says as surety are held and firmly bound unto the state of Tennessee, which is a corporation that was incorporated in 1796, in the full amount of $55,000 lawful money of the United States of America for the full and prompt payment whereof we bind ourselves, our representatives, successors, and assigns each jointly and severally, firmly and unequivocally by these presents. Whereas the said principal, which is Kevin P. Key, was elected. He's an elected official. So he's an officer of criminal court clerk of Shelby County for a 4-year term beginning of the first day of September 2010 and ending on the first day of September 2014. So actually this particular bond just expired, but he had to renew it. Okay. It also says, now, therefore, the condition of this obligation is such that if the said Kevin P. Key, principal, shall faithfully perform the duties of office of criminal court clerk of Shelby County during his term of office or his continuance therein, and number 2, pay over to the persons authorized by law to receive them all monies, properties, or things of value that may come into his hands during his term of office or his continuance therein without fraud or delay, and shall faithfully and safely keep all records required of him in his official capacity, because he's an officer. That's why he's official. And at the expiration of this term, or in the case of his registration or removal, from office shall turn over to his successor all records and property which have come into his hands, then this obligation shall be null and void, otherwise to remain in full force and effect. Witness, our hands and seal, this 20th day of August 2010. And this is his signature, Kevin P. Key. This is a witness signature, and it's countersigned by someone. And this is the surety, which is the insurance company. So now you got, and it's notarized by their particular state, which is the state of Tennessee. So you got to ask yourself, what is this? This is the bond that they don't produce to the, well, it's actually a public record, but since people don't want to look at anything but stupid shit, you know, they don't look for stuff like this. And the first thing they say is, hey, I got pulled over and I got beat up by the cop. He beat the hell out of me and took my money. Okay, well, file a claim on his bonds. Get his ass fired. Get that motherfucker locked up. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And again, it has a notary stamp, and it says acknowledgement of surety. And he has a $55,000 surety bond. So what does that mean? He had to purchase that. A lot of people don't understand this. And I'm gonna be finished with this. A lot of people don't get that they have to protect us. And this money is being put up to say if they do screw up and someone was to file a claim, the particular monies that's on this bond will be held up. That's why when you file a claim against that bond, you always file it higher than the actual bond. And then you publicize it on the internet. That way, when the third party agency go in, particularly around this, well, last month, October, when they go in and do a check, because these people have to have A1 credit to get these bonds. When they do a check and run a Google search on these people's names, they'll see if they violated anything. If it pops up, then it's like a risk. It's a liability, so they can't get them. Man, these people be out of job if people knew how to do this information. So they take us to jail if we have bad credit or something like that, for example, which credit is fraud anyway. But what they do is you can Google your name, so to speak, and you will see a mug shot of you. Mm-hmm. So they publicize us, but we don't publicize them. So we have to get in the mode of knowing how to publicize them for their fraud.